Can you tell us what you felt when you took your shahada?
Well, I'll tell you what, taking the shahada was just mechanical for me. But immediately after becoming Muslim, you notice something that you never noticed in your life before. So that's a peace, a tranquility, a comfort. Allah says He puts love in our heart, whatever you want to call that. You feel it. And you didn't know that you had this barrier. Like between me and anybody else in my life, there's always some level of barrier that you keep. And you don't even really notice it, right? And I mean, they're friends. They're my friends. I do everything with them. When you become Muslim and you say salam alaikum to a stranger, or you meet someone you know, and that feeling that you have, you notice something's missing. And it's that barrier that you've always had that you didn't know was there. And once it leaves, you will really have that. It's a spiritual connection that doesn't exist prior to becoming Muslim. And it is a very addictive feeling.
What was the reaction of your family or your closest circle to your conversion to Islam?
My parents at first tolerated, looking happy for me or whatever, thinking it's a phase, he'll get over it, right? It's just something he's going through. He's young, he's stupid, he'll move on. So there was no friction in our family. Her family was a little more reserved. Her father was so upset with her that he you'd say, disowned her. But she was married, she had me, she didn't need him, for anything but being a father. So they didn't talk for like 10 years. And her father was already divorced from her mother, so they were living separately. Her mother was like, if you're happy, I'm happy. But her mother was very uncomfortable going out in public when my wife started covering. So when she's covering and she's like asking, you can take it off when you're with me, right? And she was worried about the views of other people on her. But it was a minor issue, and she eventually just got used to it. And her father eventually came to not only to terms, but friends with her. And then he, in his old age, moved in with us. We took care of him until he died. So their relationship ended on the highest note. It was a little awkward at first, but I've heard horror stories, so I was lucky. We were lucky.
And what about the Prophet ﷺ? What made you impressed about him the most?
What you love about the Prophet is he dealt with every issue we face today, whether it's media or abuse or violence or rhetoric, with his own family, his own community. We have superheroes in the American tradition, right? Every superhero you can imagine. Well, the reason you have superheroes is people see the limitations of each other, right? And none of us have those superhero qualities. So if we could fix things, we would have a superhero intervene and make things right. Well, when you understand that one man in a desert received a revelation at a time of extreme ignorance and violence and everything you can think of, and how it resonated from one person to the entire world in such a short period of time, that superhero of how to affect change through himself, his companions, through the followers, is more inspiring than a mythical or a fictional character. So you kind of replace your heroes with real people.
Lastly, there's someone in the audience among those watching us now warming his heart to Islam, but afraid of the reaction of his relatives or his close circle. What would you like to say to such a person?
Can I read my answer? I thought about this for a second, and will not help them on the day of judgment. When you're standing alone facing your Lord or your Creator, belief is a personal decision that everyone must face. You need to answer, why am I here? Where am I going? What should I do? No one's responsible for your accountability, nor are they going to participate in your success. A strong conviction in faith will overcome any obstacle, barriers, or reactions. Once you connect your head and your heart, you will find an unshakable peace and unshakable strength. So if you're worried about others' reactions, don't be. Act with sincerity, conviction, and trust that God will be there every step of the way. He already is.